One of the things I like to do each year is wash the engine compartment. You can see how the dirt and everything builds up in here over the winter time. We've got dirt and salt and mud and all kinds of stuff. I usually like to spray it down with some soap and water and just clean it up a little bit and make it look a little bit nicer. The other thing we're going to do today is we're going to do some maintenance on this battery. You can see that the terminal's got a little corrosion on them. Right down in here, there's a little corrosion. So we're going to take a few minutes, clean these battery terminals up. You're going to need a 10mm ratchet. I always want to take the negative off first. See that corrosion on there? We'll get that all cleaned up. Go ahead and take your positive off. This is pretty simple to do. You need a battery terminal cleaner tool like this, or you could use a wire brush like this. Either one will work. I like to just stick the brush in there like that. Only takes a few minutes, and it could make the difference between your car starting or not starting, or having a problem while you're traveling, or do the same thing with your positive. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but I got all my helpers here today. I got Lucy, Echo, and Rufus. I'm sure you'll see them at some point. I can just hit them up with a nice clean rag quickly. All right, then just put everything back together. Put the positive on first. You don't have to flex your muscles, just snug them up. And we'll put the negative on. All right, look at the difference there. Nice clean battery terminals. Took what, 5-10 minutes, maybe? One of the other things we're going to do is we're going to change out the air filter. Depending on what your driving style and situation and environment is, you may have to do this more than I do, but I tend to do mine once a year. It's a simple change out, takes literally less than 5 minutes. I went down to O'Reilly Auto Parts this morning, picked up a nice new filter. It's a pretty straightforward install. 4 clips. Lift up your cover. Out with the old. And with the new. The other thing you want to do is change your cabin air filter. I don't know of any vehicles that don't have a cabin air filter, but they're cheap and they're super easy to change. I picked this one up this morning with the other air filter. Pretty much most every car that I know of, the cabin filter's in the glove box. Let's change this one out. All right in your glove box, there's going to be a door back here. Just open that up. There's an inner door there. Pull out your filter. Well, well, well. Look at me. Look how dirty that thing is. Oh. And it gets a little bit worse, actually. Pull out a couple of leaves. I think that's it. Okay, clearly this one has seen better days. Put this new one in. Let's see. All right. Okay, put the door back on. Okay, so in a span of like 20 minutes, we cleaned our battery terminals, we changed out the engine air filter, and we changed out the cabin air filter. So it doesn't take long to do maintenance. While we're here, we'll check the engine oil. I'm not due for an oil change, but you're here, so you might as well check it. Okay, looking good. Nice clean oil. You want it to at least be up to this little dimple on the top. That's how you know it's full. You probably already know that, but for those of you that don't, now you do. Okay, so battery terminals are clean, engine air filter is changed, cabin air filter is changed. We checked the oil. We're in good shape. So now we're going to get to the cleaning process. And the way I do it may not be the way some people do it. It may not even be the recommended way, but it's the way I do it. It's the way I've done it. I've had pretty good luck with it. So I'm going to show you what I do. All right, the product I'm using today is just Simple Green. I usually buy it by the gallon and I put it in a pump sprayer. This happens to be Simple Green Extreme, which ironically is a clear color, but anyway, that's what I usually use. Is some type of, you could use like Dawn dish soap, something like that. It doesn't have to be anything special. Great. Honestly. Anyway, what I do is I usually just spritz the area with water. You don't have to, like, we're not using a stream, we're not spraying anything directly. We're just letting the water mist onto the engine and just so it's damp. Once you've got everything in the engine compartment damp, you can just spray on your soap, whatever it is you've decided to use. Just go ahead and spray it on here. You just want to spray it on there. You can be a little liberal. Kind of let it get in there. I just let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes. Let that degreaser get in there and just kind of sit there and work for a little bit. Okay. After about 5 or 10 minutes or so, I like to just start the engine up. And that's when I just kind of just start spritzing. We're not going to use a lot of water. We're not going to use a heavy stream of water. We're not going to spray components directly. We're just going to let it kind of mist its way in there and rinse all the soap and hopefully all the dirt and grease and all the other salt and everything. I'm going to let that wash off of there. Okay, we're going to leave the 4Runner running for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or so. Let it build up a little bit of heat, and that heat will help dry the engine compartment. All right, after just a few minutes of the motor running, you can see everything kind of dried up. Look how great that battery looks now. Everything's nice and clean. You know, it really only took maybe an hour to do everything. And now we got a new air filter, new cabin filter. Our battery terminals are clean. And heck, we even got the glove box cleaned out. This Saturday morning project cost me about 50 bucks for filters. And the only thing you got to do now is reset the radio, because when you disconnected the battery, you lost your time. And once you get that done, you can have the rest of the day to screw off. That's it for today's video. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.